To survive on the outer rim, you need more than just water. You need sustenance that sticks to your ribs. You need blue milk. Harvested from the banthas of Tatooine, it is the lifeblood of the desert. It is thick, rich, and undeniably opaque. It coats the throat with a texture that is somewhere between cream and syrup. To the moisture farmers, it is breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It is sweet, but not in the way a fruit is sweet. It has a heavy, biological sweetness, a taste of the animal it came from. It is the taste of domesticity in a galaxy that is often wild. When Luke Skywalker sat at his aunt and uncle's table, watching the twin suns fade, he drank this. It is the drink of innocence before the war. It is the drink of home. And even decades later, in the grimiest cantinas of the core worlds, a glass of blue milk can bring a hardened smuggler to tears, because it reminds them of a time when the galaxy was small and the biggest worry was the harvest. If blue milk is the drink of the farm, spotchka is the drink of the fringe. It glows, a vibrant neon blue that cuts through the dim light of a Sorgan tavern. It is not made from grain or fruit. It is made from krill. Tiny, harvested creatures, pressed and fermented until they become something potent. The taste is not for the faint of heart. It is briny, electric, and carries the metallic tang of the vat. It is the drink of choice for raiders and mercenaries, for people who live life one credit at a time. When you drink spotchka, you are not savoring a vintage. You are fueling a fire. It burns going down, a cold fire that wakes up the senses and numbs the pain of a blaster wound. It is brewed in the backwaters, in villages that time forgot. And when a Mandalorian walks into a bar and orders a flagon, the room goes quiet. Because spotchka is not a drink for diplomats. It is a drink for those who have business to finish. On the streets of Coruscant, in the neon-lit diners of the lower levels, they call it Jawa juice. But the label on the bottle says RDs. It is a misnomer, a joke that stuck. It has nothing to do with the scavengers of Tatooine. It is made from the RD's beverage concentrate, a mixture that has seen its share of controversy. It is thick, frothy, and usually served in a mug that looks like it hasn't been washed in a week. It tastes of roasted grains and fermented tubers, a hearty, earthy flavor that cuts through the smog of the city. Obi-Wan Kenobi drank it at Dex's diner. He sat in a booth, surrounded by the noise of a trillion beings, and sipped this humble brew while discussing cloning facilities and poisoned darts. It is the drink of the working class, the drink of the freighter pilot on a layover, the drink of the detective chasing a cold lead. It is unpretentious, it is reliable, and in a galaxy of deception, Jawa juice is one of the few things that is exactly what it claims to be. Cheap, strong, and ready to wake you up. Then there is jet juice. They call it engine room hooch. And the name is a warning, not a marketing tactic. It is not brewed, it is engineered. A volatile mix of bourbon, chili liqueur, acai, and whatever else is lying around the hangar bay. It is the color of hydraulic fluid and smells like a leaking fuel line. Pilots drink it. Smugglers drink it. Anyone who spends their life in a cockpit, defying gravity and death, drinks it. It hits the tongue with a deceptive sweetness, the grape and the lemon lulling you into a false sense of security. Then, the chili kicks in. It is a heat that starts in the mouth and spreads to the fingertips. It mimics the adrenaline of a dogfight. It mimics the rush of a hyperdrive malfunction. To drink jet juice is to prove a point. It is a challenge issued to your own liver. It says, I have survived TIE fighters and asteroid fields. This glass will not kill me. But looking at the bottom of the glass, sometimes you aren't so sure. The Mandalorians are a people of armor and weapons. Their drink, tihar, is no different. It is a colorless spirit, clear as water, sharp as a vibroblade. It is distilled from fruit, often the triple distilled Vara's fruit, but you wouldn't know it from the taste. The fruit is a ghost, a distant memory buried under the overwhelming burn of the alcohol. It is a drink of purity. There are no additives, no spices to hide the flaw. It is raw potency. It is said that tihar can strip the paint off a speeder bike, and looking at the grimace of a warrior taking a shot, you believe it. It is drunk in silence, after a battle, after a loss. It is the drink of memory. It burns the throat, a physical reminder of the pain of existence, of the vows taken and the brothers lost. You do not sip tihar. You take it, you accept it, and you survive it. High above the grime, In the penthouses of the core worlds, the glasses are made of crystal, and the liquid inside is Corellian Reserve brandy. It is the color of amber trapped in starlight. It is aged. It is refined. It is expensive. This is the drink of Han Solo when he is flush with credits. This is the drink of Leia Organa when the weight of the galaxy becomes too heavy to bear. It tastes of history. It has notes of spice, of oak, of the savory fruit that only grows in the temperate valleys of Corellia. It is a civilized drink for uncivilized times. It warms the chest with a slow, gentle heat. It invites conversation. It invites conspiracy. To open a bottle of Corellian Reserve is to make a statement. It says that despite the war, despite the empire, despite the First Order, there are still things worth savoring. There is still elegance, and there is still hope. If you want to feel something other than drunk, you order a flame out. It is a paradox in a glass, a sensory confusion that has become legendary in the cantinas of the expansion region. The first sensation is scalding heat. The spices in the mix attack the tongue, mimicking the feeling of boiling water. You gasp, you recoil, and then the second wave hits. Your throat freezes. A chemical reaction turns the liquid into a glacial slide, numbing the esophagus, chilling the lungs. Fire and ice, pain and numbness. It is a thrill ride for the palate. It is drunk by daredevils and bored spaces looking for a sensation that the void of space cannot provide. It leaves you breathless, it leaves you confused, and it leaves you wanting another one. Because in a galaxy where every day is a struggle for survival, sometimes you just want to feel alive, and a flame out guarantees that. But the most important drink in the galaxy is not alcoholic. It is not rare. It is caf. Black as the void, bitter as a defeat, hot as a blaster bolt. It is the fuel of the rebellion. It is the fuel of the empire. On the bridge of a star destroyer, an officer grips a mug of caf to stay awake during the third shift. In a rebel base on Hoth, a soldier wraps their frozen hands around a thermal cup, praying for the warmth to seep into their bones. It is universal. It is the great equalizer. It tastes of roasted beans and desperation. It is the drink of the briefing room, the drink of the cockpit before the dawn patrol. It does not get you drunk, it gets you ready. It is the promise that no matter how tired you are, no matter how hopeless the odds, you can keep your eyes open for one more hour. You can fight for one more day. And in the end, that is all that matters.